We are going to recreate this OrangeFit website. This video is not sponsored by OrangeFit, but I do use their products for many years during my workouts. So to recreate this, we need a powerful builder. If you don't have it, you can get a 10% discount going to wpressdoctor.com/getdivi. And here you get a 10% discount for 24 hours. So we're going to add a new page called Home. And the first row will be a normal row. The first section will be a text module. So let's see what font they are using. We type in family and they see they're using Gilroy Bold. We're just gonna download the Gilroy Bold font family. And then we go to upload. And then we're gonna press upload. If you now get an error message, then you need to follow this video to fix this. And then we're going to copy it. The next one is the payoff. Create a fitter world. Select it, change it to, the font size is 8.125 rem. So we're going to change the font size to 8.12 rem. Add some line height. Then we're going to just enter it over there. This looks amazing. And the color is actually white. And then they have this beautiful background and also a beautiful image. So let's first create this section behind it. And then we go to section background. We're going to add the background color like this, and we're going to use it further in the website. So let's make it a global color. Press this plus icon, and there you are. Use the global color. Okay. We're going to use a background mask to create this amazing thing. And of course, we have a different color for the mask. So we're going to use this one, which is the orange from their website. We're going to use it often. So let's create a global color of this one. Yes, let's use it. And then we're gonna find just something that looks a bit like it. It is actually possible with a trick to upload your own SVGs. But that goes a little bit far for this tutorial. We're just gonna create something like the original. So I think this would be excellent. We can just change it around a little bit. Choose whatever we want. Let's make this one 19 pixels. And then we're gonna make it closer to the headline. So we go to spacing. We're gonna spacing the margin at 0 like this. Then we're gonna do a little trick, because what they do over here is actually they have a video with another column over there. So first we're going to save this video.
Just a quick disclaimer, you are not allowed to copy and use images or logos from other people's website. This video is just intended for learning purposes only.
Then we go to create a new section over here with a 2-column layout. This layout, I think this is good. You might say, well, we're gonna add a video, but it won't play automatically if you do so. So we're not gonna add anything over here, but we are going to add an image over there. The image, now we can use this product image. If you're creating your own web shop, use your own images, of course. And below that module, we actually have a text module, which is exactly the same as the other one, OrangeFit Advice, like this. And we're gonna copy it again, and we're gonna change it to, this one is a little bit bigger, so we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And we're going to make sure that there is a little more space. We're going to remove the 0 padding. Then we're going to create exactly the same. How are we going to do that? First of all, we're going to give the second column the right background color. And the right background color is actually this one. This is the background color. We're going to save it as a global because we're going to use it more often, I think. So let's add it in. Excellent. Then we go to design, we go to sizing. We're going to press equalize column heights. Then you go back to content, and the first column, we give a background video. This is the way to autoplay our videos without any sound. We're going to upload the video. It's 7 MBs, and there we have it. Oh, it's always a good practice to fill in your video width and a video height. You just go to the video and look at it. It's just Full HD 920 by 1080. 920 by 1080. And that's important so that it will stay the right size. Then we go back to design. We go to sizing, and we're going to use a gutter width of 0 because I want them to be close to each other. The next thing we see is that they also have a button over here. So let's create a button. Do the test. We go to design, we go to button, we're going to use custom styles. The text color is white, the background color is transparent. Then the bottom border white is also 3 pixels, border color white, border radius is actually 25 because it's rounded. For the font, they're using a different kind of font, so we're going to upload it. It is Gilroy Regular. uploaded. And for the font, they're also using the Gilroy bold, but they're making out bold. It's just regular like this. All right, then we're going to align it on the center. And we're going to add some spacing to the top, 25, and also to the bottom. Then we need some padding on the left side and on the right side, because it's actually a pretty bigger button. And well, let's save it. And then the bottom is not that big. Yes, this looks great. And then the text size is just a little bit smaller. Then when we look at the column, we are seeing two things. The columns they're using are a bit wider than our website. So we're going to change the size of all the rows. Sizing will be 1300 like this. Now to make 1300 the standard size of all your rows inside of your website, you have to change the preset. So the default preset, you can actually click on this and you can press update with preset with current styles. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And now all rows will be at 1300 pixels width. That is excellent. Now the column structure of this thing is actually a little bit smaller. Then we're going to change the second column. Go to design, spacing. We're going to give it padding on the right and left side and also on the top and bottom. Then your content can breathe inside of your column. Let's make this 35 and let's reduce the top and let's change the top to 0 and let's change the bottom to 15 to 25. Then we have more space between this one, spacing. Let's add 25 pixels in over there. We go to this one, also design, spacing, give it a top margin of 25 pixels. What I also see is that this one is uppercase, like this. Then it's a bit smaller. The next step is actually to put on this row behind this row. How are we going to do that? Well, you go to your row settings of the first one. We first need to change the position, the z-index. Let's change this one to 50. The z-index actually tells the browser on which level these rows need to operate. It's very useful. Let's change it to 50. And this row will be advanced position will be at 25. So it's lower than the one. Of course, you can make this row go up with using a negative margin, but I think it's better to use the position and go with absolute. And then it already flips to the right place. Then we're going to add it to this side. And then we can actually change it with the vertical offset and the horizontal offset to place it on the right place. I think it's like this. And then we see that the margin, the video is actually bigger and there's more margin here between this section. So let's change that first. We go to the section of this one, designs, spacing. We're going to give it a top margin of 175. Excellent. Then this one is a little bit bigger. 150 pixels is actually exactly the same. And then we see that the subtitle is also uppercase. This video is even bigger than our video. To create a bigger video, you have to create more content inside it or use minimum height. But on our case, we can see that on the right side, they have more spacing between these things. When you're changing the z-indexes, now I have a problem with selecting the right thing. As you can see, it is very hard for me to click on it. So how are you going to fix this? So you go to the wireframe modes and then you can actually change the image or the text, orange fit advice. And this one, you go back to desktop view and you go to spacing and then we can give it a margin of whatever we want. And you can see that the video just moves along while I'm creating more space within the other column. They have less space like this. And then the bottom is 75 pixels. Yes, this looks way better. Then we see that the video is bigger than the section. So we have to remove some space. The first thing to do it is go to the row, design, spacing, and press the bottom padding to 0. Then we can create more space. As you can see it, now we have a different thing there. We go to the section, we go to design, we go to spacing. And again, we're going to change the padding to 0 pixels. But this is a bit too much. So let's give it a padding of 15 pixels so that we still have some space below it, 25 pixels. Excellent. Well, of course we can tweak it just a little bit more. go to this row, go to advanced position. We're going to change the horizontal offset. Do no more. Then create the next section below it. Go back to your wireframe, create a new regular section. And the first one thing is a normal row. In the normal row, we have a text. This is actually the same as this one. So we're going to copy it, drag it over here. And then we're just going to change the color. Go to your design. And the color is our dark orange. And then they also have a logo over here, the Go Green logo. Well, that's fine, just create it. We can easily just add an image over there, image, upload it. And then we go to design, sizing. We're just gonna make it a little bit smaller. Now I actually want to know how big this is. We go to layout and we see that this thing is only 95 pixels width. So we're gonna change the width to 95 pixels. No, not percent, but pixels. Yes, excellent. And then we're gonna advance. And now what it actually does is gonna make this section bigger in entirely. And I don't want that, so we go to position. We're gonna make it absolute. We're gonna place it over there. And then we're gonna just help it a little bit to go to the right spot over there. I'm still not happy with the size of this thing because when you look at this logo, it's actually on the right and this one is on the right. So we're gonna move this image to the next section over there, so it's in the white. Then we're going to change the position of this thing. So go to design, advanced position, and we're gonna change it a little bit. Make it higher again, like this. And then we go to the row. Let's change the name of this row. Row with video. And now you actually know every time when you're changing the wireframe, you know which row it is. Go to advanced, go to position. I'm going to change the vertical offset just a little bit more so that it looks better. Let's make it 75 pixels. Like this. And then this section, design, spacing, we're going to give it more space. Like this, 30 pixels on the top. All right. Now this looks way more like the original. All right. Then we're going to add a new row with our products inside of it. The key to a successful web shop is always to have beautiful images. And this is pretty easy to recreate. We're just going to add a blurb module like this. And then the background image will be our products. So the first one is the orange. Go back to the content like this. Then we're going to change the style a bit. First, we're going to remove the image over there. Then we go to design. We go to spacing. We're going to give it a top heading so that we can actually see what's going on. Then we're going to change the text. This font is, of course, the Gilroy Bold. It's white and it is bigger. And then the other one is also white. We're going to use the font Gilroy Regular. Then we go back to spacing because we need some spacing on the left side and the right side. So let's make it 25 pixels left, right, and also at the bottom like this. This looks really excellent. Now, just to copy this row to the other ones, you just delete the columns. We're just going to add the other columns like this. And it's pretty easy to change them all around. Then what we see is design. You go to design, sizing, getter width. Let's use 2 because it's the closest we can get with the original. Then the second one is the green one. All right, this looks pretty amazing. Then we're gonna give this module more space, like this. Design, spacing, 25 on top, like this. Move this one back in his place. Position is 25 pixels. Excellent. On the original website, when you hover over it, something's happening with the background image. Is there a way to do that within your products? Well, of course, everything's possible with all CSS and things, but you can also go to design, transform. We're gonna make it a little bit bigger to pop out. It's not exactly the same, but well, we'll manage with this one. Just click on hover, like this, hover, and then you're gonna make this 110%. Whoa, 110% upon hover. To copy this to the other ones easily, just press on this and press extend transform scale. And then it goes all blurbs on this row. Because when you have other blurbs, you don't want them to change. So press extend. And now they all have it. Now you wonder how to make these links. Well, we're going to do that later on when we've installed WooCommerce and our products. So to add the other row of products, just duplicate this entire row like this. I'm going to recreate this real quick. Now what we see over here, because of the title is bigger than the other ones, it's not the same anymore. So we go to design, we go to spacing, we're gonna change the top heading like this to make it Alright, then we have a button which says discover all products. I can tell you already that this effect of this button is not standard in Divi. There's of course another plugin for this, but we're just gonna create another button. So to create this button, we're just going to duplicate this button and drag it over here. Oh, we need to create, of course, a new row with we're gonna paste it in. And we're just gonna change it because it's white now. The button design is the orange color, the background is white, and the border is also this orange one. Let's change the width a bit, get the spacing, make it a bit smaller. And then we have this beautiful header. This is of course a image. Then we're gonna add a new section, a regular, with just a regular row. And in this row is text, but we're going to copy just text from this one because it's actually exactly the same. So we're just gonna press copy module. We go down and we right click and we set paste module. For the background, we're using the global color again, and also a background image like this. Then we're going to change the text around. This one is actually what you should do is change this one to an H2. And we're going to style it. Design, heading text, H2, make it Gilroy bold, make it white, and make it bigger like this, 75 pixels. And then we're gonna add the text, copy this module, paste module, change it. We're gonna change the text because this one is not uppercase, and it's also Gilroy regular. After the end, I want a new line. Press Shift Enter. And then like this. And then we have a button, which is another button. So let's copy this. Then this button is on the left side, and text is, this time they don't have a border width. And then we go to design, and then we go to spacing, and it's just a little bit smaller, and it's a little bit more higher. And what they actually did to break the design a little bit is they changed the margin on to the more to the right. I really like this. So we're going to just do column settings. We go to design, we go to sizing, and we're just going to make it, for example, 1000 like this. Here, this is great. Then we see in the original there's just a little bit more space below and on top it. So we go to the row settings, we go to design, we go to spacing, and we're gonna give it more margin on top and more margin on the bottom. To be honest guys, this just looks great, doesn't it? It's only now that I noticed that this menu is just from my latest video about the Tesla, recreating the Tesla website. It's still here, well, no problem. Alright, the next section is also really nice with a great moving background inside of it. Add a new section over there with just a... So first thing is we're going to copy this one, copy module, paste module, and this will be our story. And then below this one, we're just gonna copy it, we're gonna type it, and we're gonna change this up. It's not like this, it's black and it's way bigger. And of course, add some line height in there. And then again, we're gonna have a button. That's an orange button. Do we already have an orange button? No, we don't, but it looks a bit like this one. So we're just gonna copy it, drag it over there and change it. Go to design and go to button. We're gonna make the color will be white. but the background this time will be orange. And the content is read our story. On every web shop you should have this, so people know who you are and what you want. Copy this module, paste it over here, change the text, go to design, we go to change it to black. Excellent. What we see here is that the width is actually way more smaller. So we go to design, we go to sizing, we're going to change the width to 76%. Then we have these blurbs here, which are beautiful. So let's create a new row with 4 of them. First one is a blurb, based, and then we have an image, add them in, go to design, we go to the image, 42 pixels in the original, 42 pixels like this. Align this one in the center, go to the global colors, make it this one, gallery bold, go to this one, align it in the center, and also use. Now the design is good, but there needs to be more space between the title and the text. How are we going to do that? You go to Advanced, Custom CSS, you go down to the blurb title, add in margin, and bottom is 15 pixels. This is a bit too much, let's make it 10. Yes, great. All right, again, if you want to recreate it, just delete the other ones and copy this one like this, and then we're just going to change them up. Now then we have on the original website, what you see is they have the text up here, create a fitter world behind it, and it's moving when you're scrolling. You see that? We can create that with Divi. Just go to this one. We're going to add a new row below this one, a new row. In this row will be text, and the text will be create a. Now go to design, go to text. We're going to select it. We're going to make it white because the background of this thing is actually not white. It is a kind of grayish. So we go with the background and we're going to add a color, which is this one, and just a bit grayish. All right, save it. Then let's change this one. You go to design, you go to text. First, we're going to give it the right font, Gilroy bold, and then we're going to make it extreme big, like 500 pixels, 450 pixels, I think. The first thing, of course, is we need to make it completely full width. So we go to save changes, then we go to the row where this text is in. Go to design, you go to sizing, we're gonna make it 100% width and 100% max width, like this. There it is, create a. Then we go to the row settings, we go to advanced, we go to scroll effects, then we go to horizontal motion and we enabled it like this. This looks exactly the same as the original. Let me explain this way to you. We want to move it, we don't want to move it really big on the website. We want to make it a small move. So the starting offset should actually be 1. And the ending offset should actually be minus 1. So this way you have a really small and smooth scrolling. You see this? If I change this to 100, then what will happen? It will be enormous. So let's change it to -1. And this is exactly how it goes on this website. It's really small. Now, let's save this row. It's excellent. Then we're gonna duplicate this entire row. You cannot target it anymore because it's so big. The button. Let's see where it is. We're gonna scroll all the way down. I think it's this text. Create a. Yes. So we're gonna change this row. We're gonna name it for future references. Scrolling text create a, like this. Save it. And now we always can recognize this. Then we're just going to copy this entire row. Row create a, copy it. We're gonna move it down the other one. Let me show you why. And then we're gonna change the text to fitter world, like this. Well, the word world doesn't fit in our text because it's too big. There is one way to change this. Of course, you can create to make the font smaller, but then this font is also going to be smaller. We need to go to the row settings, design, we go to sizing. We're going to make this the max width, we're going to make it to 150% and this also to 150%. Now it doesn't fit anymore on your screen, but that's okay because that's not the point of it. And what we see is on the original, this one moves the other direction. That's really great to do is go to the row settings again, go to advanced, go to scroll effects. And then we're going to change the vertical motion. The starting offset will be -1 and the ending offset will be 1. Now we have changed it around. And now when you're moving, they're actually moving on a different direction. This is exactly how I want it to be. Now, before we start creating actually the products, which is a lot more work, then let's recreate this one. Go into your wireframe, scrolling text, change this to, of course. And then we're going to add a new row below it. Just this. The first module in there is an image. And the image is this icon. And then we have another image over there. We have this one. Use this. Then we're going to change the background of this row. And the background of this row is a color, which is this one. And then they have, of course, a mask, just like the other one that we have seen. So we're just going to use the same again. And the color is actually white, but it is a bit transparent. So you pick on white, and then we're going to make it a little bit transparent to give it just a little bit of. Then let's change this a bit around. I like this one. We're going to add a title. The titles are all the same, so we're just going to copy this module. And we're going to paste this module over here. Below that is just a little bit of text. So we're going to copy this module. And we're going to paste it in over there. I'm going to make it white. Again, great. Then we go to the spacing of this row. And we're going to make it the padding on the left side 50 pixels over there. Well, let's give it 150 pixels and also on the right side. This looks almost exactly the same. Then on the top also 25 pixels. And at the bottom, let's make it bigger. Let's give it 100 pixels. Now it almost looks exactly the same. Fully recyclable. And change this text also. The image size is 95 pixels. Here we go. Look at this. This is the original. This is our creation. Oh, the color is off. Let's change the color to this one. And this looks almost exactly the same, so I'm really happy with this one. I almost forgot on this website you can see that the image of the people is just moving just a little bit. You can easily recreate this by going to the settings, background. Then we're going to use a parallax effect. Here you go. And let's make it, when you do CSS, this is the way, but when you use true parallax, it is just like the way the original website is. You go to your dashboard, you go to Divi Theme Builder. On the Theme Builder, we're going to create a global header. Build global header. The first thing we do is create a new row with a menu module. We still have the menu from recreating the Tesla website. We're going to change this in just a bit. First, we're going to upload the logo like this. Then we go to the background and we're going to change the background. It is, of course, one of the global colors, the orange. Yes. Then we see that the menu is not transparent, so we're going to remove the background color. Okay. Then we go to design, and we're going to change the logo sizing, because the logo is not this big. The logo is actually just 250 pixels width. All right. Then we go to the design of this menu, which is all in uppercase. And it is Gilroy bold, and it is, of course, in white. And then we see there's a lot more spacing. So we go to the fonts, custom CSS, and we scroll down to menu link. And we're going to add margin on the left of 50 pixels. 50 is a bit much, so let's make it 20. And then we go down and we go to the menu logo, and we're going to add a margin on the right side of 150 pixels. Like this, but then you can see that the logo is way smaller. because I created more space and he doesn't like that. So we're going to change this to 350 and then it looks way better. Then we go to the size of these are a little bit bigger. The menu text is actually greater. Then we also have letter spacing of 2 pixels. Then we're going to change the spacing of the padding. It's way more smaller. Yes. Also with the row, just create 5 like this. This is way better. They have on the top bar a white bar like this with a couple of things in it. No problem. Add a section, just a normal row. The first one is Trustpilot. So we don't have that, but normally you have that. So let's add an image in and we're just going to upload the Trustpilot logo. It's that easy. We're gonna remove the spacing on the section and also on the row. Like this. And we're going to change the Trustpilot. Gonna make it a little bit smaller to 85 pixels. The next to that is not happy 100% refund. Let's add in a blurb module to do that. And your text is not happy 100% refund. We're going to use an icon for that. And it's a arrow with a, yeah, how you call it? A return icon maybe? Yes, a return icon like this. Well, on the original, it's just a strange color. It's not one of the color used before. So we're going to change that to our original color. Change the icon on the left side. Make it a bit smaller. And then the font is, of course, Gilroy regular. And it's not that big. It's actually 16 pixels. And then we have free shipping above 100. So we're just going to copy this blurb over there. And we're going to change it to free shipping above 100. And there they're using a image because it is the UPS logo over there. Then what are we going to do to make it smaller? First, we go to design, we go to sizing, we're going to use a custom gutter height of 1. Then we're going to change the column structure to something with way more lines like this. Then we're going to align this one on the center. This looks acceptable. Then we're going to change this, drop it over there. What I like about this menu is that when you don't scroll, it is just transparent. And when you do scroll, it is orange. How are we going to do that? Well, it's actually pretty easy if you know how. This thing will be advanced scroll effects. Stick to the top. And now when we have sticked it, then you can go to content, background. Now you have the other option, stick it. So when it's sticky, it's orange, and normally it is transparent, like this. And on sticky, it is orange, and on desktop, and when it's not sticky, it is just transparent. It's actually pretty nice. Press save. Now let's see how this looks on the front end. Well, this is how the website looks. So what do we need to do? First, we're going out of the logo and Divi theme builder, press save or else it don't work. Settings, reading, and you're gonna show a static home page like this. Now I refresh my page and here we are. Now you cannot actually see the menu because we need this thing to go up a little bit or else you won't see it. There are more ways to do this. However, what I do like to do is go to your dashboard, go to Divi theme options, and the custom CSS will be the main content, margin top -75 pixels. And we press save changes. And now when I refresh my page, this is how it looks. And when you scroll down, you get this beautiful bar behind it. I think it's actually working really great. Now let's create the real menu. You go to appearance, you go to menus. Then I'm just going to delete this menu. And I'm going to create a new menu called main menu. Like this. Create the menu. And we're going to add some custom links. The first one is our products. And later we're going to fill this all with our real products from WooCommerce. But now we're just going to create the menu. But then it gets really interesting because how are we going to create this layout. We can do it the free way using the built-in Divi Mega menu, or we can use a plugin to do this for us. But we're just going to use the Divi Mega menu. The first thing we do is we need to make our products a Mega menu. You go to Screen Options, add CSS class, and then we go to our products, and now we can add a CSS class of Mega menu, just like that. Close it. Then we're going to add a different few columns. This is column 1, add it to menu. Over there. Column 2 and column 3 over there. Here we go. Within the columns, we have the links of the categories. So we're going to add the URL of, let's say, product, let's say, category. But we have to fill in the URL when we have enabled WooCommerce. Any link text will be protein shakes. Add it to menu over there. So now we have 3 columns with all these things in it. Now we want to add images to our menu. How are we going to do that? Well, the navigation label, type image source is, and then you go to your media library, and then we're going to add in all the images from the menu. And then we just copy URL to clipboard like this, and then you paste them in over there. Close it. And then I think we have to change the width, so let's save the menu and see how it looks. Then first we need to go to the theme builder, and we're going to change this menu to the, of course, main menu over there. And then we save this. And then we see, when I hover over it, this is what we see. We see an image, but we can't see the text because they're all white. So we're going to add the header template. We're going to change this menu. We go to design, we go to drop down menu, and the background is white, but the menu line color, they don't have one. So let's make it transparent. And the menu text color should actually be black like this. And then the active link color is also black, and the mobile menu background color is white. And then the mobile menu text color is also black. Let's first add in all the images to our menu items. And then we're just going to copy this navigation label. Just copy it, and I'm going to paste it everywhere else with the right images. So this is how the menu looks right now. Of course, we need to remove this column 1, 2, and 3 in the Divi theme options. We're gonna adjust just CSS, and this actually tells the first child in the mega menu display none. And now when I reload the page, you can see that it's gone over here. Actually, this looks really great. If you want to style it even more to make it more beautiful and even like the original one, we need a lot of CSS, or we could use a plugin to create a Divi Mega menu. Now, the last option is really tempting to do right now because I've already spent a lot of time trying to create it, but it gets way too complicated to do this for this tutorial. Let's just start with creating the actual e-commerce site of this website, because I know a lot of you guys wanted this. Of course, to create a web shop, you need a plugin like WooCommerce. Let's use that one. Press install now, and then we press activate. First thing we do is we set up WooCommerce with all our data. Let's press continue. I would say this particular website is in the food and drink business. What they're actually trying to do here is upsell you to all their WooCommerce products, because this plugin is free, but all these other things cost money, or you have lifetime deals with other plugin developers. Press continue. I think we only have 10 products. And press continue. Don't press continue yet, or else your site will be jam-packed with stuff you don't need. For example, Jetpack. I've never been a big fan of Jetpack. Don't install it. For payment methods, we're not going to use WooCommerce payments because I don't know which country you are, and the payment provider will be set up in your country is different. We're going to use Stripe for this one. We don't want MailPoet, and we don't want Google listing and ads. Press continue. We're going to use Divi. Next step is add products to my website. Let's do this. We're going to add them in manually. The first product is protein. We're talking about these products. I know this video is not sponsored and it may look like this, but I'm really enthusiastic about their products because they are just really good. I tried a lot of plant-based protein and they were all awful to eat, but these guys are actually amazing. Then we're going to add in the price, €31.90. And we're going to add in a category which has proteins. And then we scroll down and we go to product image. And we're going to add one image. And then we're going to change the product data to a variable product. First you go to attributes and press add. Because what we have is different flavors. So the flavors we have is vanilla, choco. After each flavor you should use a pipe like this. Banana, strawberry, mango, peach. Press use for variations and press save attributes. And then we go to variations. And we're going to create variations from all attributes. Press go. Yes. And then we have 5 variations added. That's great. For example, the vanilla. Your stock keeping unit, protein, vanilla. My SKU number is 001 protein vanilla. The variation price is all the same. It is required, so it's all the same. It's 31.90. The stock status is in stock. You can fill in the weight, the dimensions, if you're using this for calculation of your shipment. In our country, only very large packages will be expensive. So for us, it's not very important about the weight. It doesn't really matter. Then we're going to add in an image. For the images, we're going to use special product images. You also should have product images on your web shop. This is the variation image, protein vanilla. Then we're going to paste this. We go to choco. And I'm going to fill them in real fast. And when you're all set and done, press save changes. Right, now we have added one product, the protein, which has 5 variations. If you do have stock on your variations, which I think you have, you press manage stock, and then you can add your stock quantity. I would say I have 200 of these vanillas in stock, and when I have less than 5, I would get an email which says there is a low stock. And you have to say if you want to allow back orders, allow notified customers, allow or do not allow. In my web shops, I don't like to allow this because in my country we are very spoiled. It means if you order something today, it will be delivered the same evening or in 99% of the cases, the next day. So when I allow back orders, I get all these orders with angry people who don't get their products, and that's not very useful. When you have filled this in, don't forget to default form value should be, for example, vanilla. Press update. And then we go over here for continue setup. Because the next step is set up our payments. Click on this one. Now you can use WooCommerce payment and then we can use all these things, but I think you want to use other payment methods and use the payment method that is useful in your country. In our country, for example, Mali is the cheapest of all the payment providers, but maybe in your country you have another one. For example, on Stripe.com you have a 2.9% plus 30 cents per successful card charge. But for example, if you go to Adyen, you can see that the Visa card is only 12 cents, but you have interchange which is around 2% in the US. That's way less than what Stripe charges. So it actually really pays off to check out all these payment providers and their prices. For our example, let's use Stripe. We press get started and then WooCommerce is going to install Stripe for us. Now there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube about configuring and installing Stripe. It's a lot of work to do good, but you have to do it or else you cannot accept any payments. Then the next thing is set up your taxing. If you're not selling to other countries, then the WooCommerce tax is actually really great. Press setup manually or else you will be installed with Jetpack and then you press insert row. I'm setting this up for the Netherlands because I know my country. The state code, you can just use it if you want to define tax per different state. This is the way to do it. Passcode, zips, the same cities. The rate in the Netherlands is 21% on every product you sell and we call it tax, or in the Dutch it's BTW 21%. priority is 1. Also shipping is also text, so we're gonna press save changes. And then we go to reduced rates, because in our country you also have for food, they only charge 9% tax. The priority should be 2, and it's not on shipping, it's only on products. And we press save changes. And we don't have a 0 rate, so that is fine. All right, well done. 4 steps left to get your store up and running. Press continue setup. Then we go to setup shipping. How much does shipping cost in your country? In the Netherlands, shipping costs €6.95. And you can define for the rest of the world also shipping costs that would be €15. Complete task. And then we need to press, well, you can use marketing tools, but I don't want this right now. And then we can use personalize my store to create a homepage. You can skip it. You can upload a logo. Of course, we already have one, so that's great. Press proceed. And a store notice is, well, not important for us. Okay, well done. If you go to the WooCommerce settings now, you can actually see all the things we have put in there. Now, very important, if your currency is not euro, you should actually change this to, for example, United States dollar, or any currency you're using, like the Indian rupee. But we are using euro for this website. The currency symbol in my country is left with a space, but it might be in your country right with space or without space. The thousand separator in our country is the dot and the decimals is a comma, but in the US it is the other way around. Number of decimals in my country is 2. Press save changes. When I now go to my products, you will see that we have the protein, we have the in stock, and when I go to edit it, now when you go to edit your product, you can actually see your product over there. This is how the product looks right now. Well, this is totally not the way how I want to have it looked on my website. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press enable visual builder over there. So the first thing we notice is we have this right sidebar, and I don't want that. So what are we going to do? You press on edit product over here. And then you change the page layout on the right side to full width and press update. Then we press on build on the front end. And now we have a normal page layout that we can change the way we want. The first thing we'll do is we go into the section settings, we go to background, and we're gonna give it the beautiful orange background. And we're also gonna use the mask again with the darker color and the color. And let's use this one again on our page. Just transform it a little bit to the way we like it. Then on the image, behind the image they have a background like this, with just another color like this. But if you want to make this rounded, then there is no place to do so. So you go to Advanced, Custom CSS, Main Element, Border Radius is 50%. This looks actually really great. Then we have this, should be the title text, should be of course Gilroy bold. It should be black because we have the whole background here is actually white on the original one. You can see that? You can do that by adding a gradient to the entire page, because creating this is actually possible, but it will take a lot of coding to do so. Then you go to your row settings, and then we go to background. We're gonna add a gradient over there. So it's gonna be white over here, like this, and it's gonna be transparent over there. Then we're gonna change the direction to 90 degrees, and then we're gonna make this one come closer to the other one. Now we have a 50-50%, and well, let's work with this. Add a little text over there, and the content is this one. Let's make it to Gilroy regular. Let's make it a bit bigger. Then we're gonna change the row, because what I want is on the second column, I want to have some spacing. So we're gonna make 50 pixels on top, and also fix 50 pixels on the right side and on the left side. But on the left side, I want it to be 25. Add in a new module, divider, show it. We go to design, line, and it's black, and it's a little bit grayish. Save it. Then we're going to duplicate it, add it over there, and then we're gonna change this one to also go inside of this. This row will be over here. And then I want to use this plugin from WooCommerce, Variation Swatches and Photos. And now when I edit my product and I scroll down and I go here to swatches, you can actually generate this one. And I'm going to change the type to custom color and images. The layout will be the label below. Let's configure vanilla. We're going to change the color to this one. We're going to change Choco. The color will be this one. You don't actually see the changes over here, but they're actually working. Now then, this is the way it looks, really neat. So we're going to style this button over there to make it real nice. Use custom styles. And for the background color, they're using a new type of green, which is very, very clear. So we're going to add it to our global colors like this. The text color is white. We have no border. We're going to change the border radius to 25 like this. Go down, we go to the margin. We're going to give it some more padding like this to make it a bigger button. Add to cart. Okay. Then we're going to change the typography of this thing. They don't have an icon, but we do have a Gilroy bold. Then we're going to style this box. Go over here. And then the field background color can be white. The field text color should be black. And I want this to be a little bit bigger. And we're going to make the text size. I also want it to have a more spacing. We go to border. Fields rounded border. Yes, we have a border. That's great. And then we can make it round, I hope. Yes, we can. So we're going to actually make this 50% so that we have a circle. It's also grayish, so that's a nice touch. It's a little bit bigger than this, 3 pixels. But now we have changed the letter spacing. Okay, so we're going to change this one, make it smaller. We're going to change the pricing because it's black on the original. And the font Gilroy Book, but it's 1.5 rem. And then I want to move the price to here or just to there like this. And then we have the description and the additional info and reviews. We're not going to use it over here, so we're going to delete it. The SKU is not needed. Well, the reviews are actually also not there, so we're going to remove them. But what I do want to have here are the blurbs. So we're going to add blurbs. This one, we're going to use an icon. And the icon will be a clock like this. And then we're going to align it. We're going to use our dark green color. And we're going to place it on the left side. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. This is excellent. We're going to change the text. Gilroy Book. What I actually want is I want to have 3 rows next to each other. That's going to be a challenge because we already have created this. I think we should have used a specialty like this. And then we're going to use this. No problem, we can still create it. This is going to be a normal row. If you want to change your entire markup, that's no problem. You can just easy copy and paste all the things. So just copy your section styles, go over your new one and press paste section styles. Now we have the same thing. Then you want this thing to be duplicated. Just copy it, paste it over here like this. No problem over there. Then we're going to copy this one. Over there, we're going to copy this one over here. We're going to copy the price over there. This entire module over here. And then the dividers over there. Also this one over here. And now we can add a new row, but first of all, we're going to change this one. We're going to make it white. Like this. Go to design, go to spacing. We're gonna give it some more padding on the left side and on the right side, like this. And then also we go to sizing, and then we're gonna change the width of this thing to 600 pixels would do the job. Yes, great. Now we can create a new row over there, and then we can have 3 modules next to each other. Really useful. Just copy this module, paste it over there. And also make this background white, like this. Go to design, go to sizing, and make this also 600 pixels. Oh, pixels, yes, okay. Then we're going to destroy this entire thing over there, Hatsikide. And then this row also needs to come over there. Then you move up, we're going to change this one over there, which is the breadcrumbs. We want those one. And I want the message to be over there. We're just gonna style it in a minute. Then I can safely remove this entire section like this, which looks excellent, but now we can have even more of these. Let's quickly go to design, spacing, gonna give it some more padding on the left and right side. And then we can copy and paste the blurbs to create all these things. Not happy, 100% refund. And then we can see that the sizing is actually a little bit off. And then we're going to duplicate the last one. And we're going to say free shipping above 100. And for that we need a box like this. Let's change this one because I don't like the style in comparison with the other ones. Now it's all consistent. Then we go to design, sizing, custom getaway. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller, like this. Maybe we can actually create more space in this thing. All right, the next thing, we're gonna style this box because it's a real ugly box. The Woo Notice settings. Let's change the background to our global orange. The button also, because what I want is actually the same background color as the call to action. Remove the border and give it a round style like the other one. And then we're gonna change the font to Gotham Book. And actually I want to have an icon on the view card. I want to use the card icon, this one. And then we're gonna add some padding to the right and left side. Add 50 to make it just bigger. And then I want to actually change the text size also. Change this to Gotham Book. And then the text color should be white. I want to change this font to, what are we using? Gotham, right? Gotham Book. So this actually only appears when you press add to cart. Excellent. And then I also want to have this one over here, pay securely with, and then all these icons. This is actually really neat. So what do we do to create this? We're actually going to duplicate this entire row. We're going to remove all these things. And the first thing is add a text like this. And the text will be pay securely with. Of course, this one is Gilroy Book. It's a little bit bigger, 16 pixels. And then we're just going to add in our payment methods. We're going to just use an image. I only want people to pay with credit card or with PayPal. So we're just going to use PayPal over there. And the other one should be a credit card logo like this. And then we're going to make this a little bit smaller. Go to design, sizing, width, and change it to, well, preferably something like pixels, because then you have the exact size. Maybe 100 pixels. That's great. Also this one. Then I want to align them, of course, in the center. Design alignment center. And then I want to move this one just a little bit down because it's not in the same height. What else do they have? They have actually a small background color. And I like this style. I really like it. So they made it really light grayish like this. And we're going to change the padding to 5 pixels, maybe a little bit bigger. This. Then we're just going to copy this row, copy row, and we're going to paste it in over here. Of course, we don't need all these things, but the title and the text is useful. I'll remove this because we already added it. Then you can just duplicate this one, change this to benefits, change the style to Gilroy bold, and the color should be this red color, and the text size should be something like. Then comes a title, and the title is Why Orange Fits Protein. We're gonna use Gilroy bold, and we're gonna make this title again bigger. We're gonna make it black. Then we're just gonna fill in the text over there. We can also use the Woo product description. We're gonna paste it in, and when you scroll down on your product page, you can here fill in your product short description like this. And then you also have a long description. When you press read more, you can add this one to the long description. Then when I refresh this page, we actually have the short description over there. And then when I copy this one like this, I can actually change this to a long description. And then the only thing you need to do is over here, you need to change the long description and make all these things like this an H2 and this one also a H2O. And then like this, we're also going to change this to H2. And then when it's loaded, you can see that the H2 is actually well done. The text should be Gilroy book. But when I go to a heading text, the H2 should be Gilroy bold. And then we can make it a little bit smaller. Now what you do want to have is when you scroll down, I actually want to have this product scroll with me. It's pretty easy, just go to the settings, go to advanced, go to scroll effects, and it says stick to top. Press save. And now when I scroll down, it will actually scroll with me. And that's beautiful. Then we have all the benefits and only the good stuff. Just copy this entire row, copy row, paste row, and you can just change these. And then when you scroll down, you can read even more. I actually want this one to be a bit centered in the screen. So we go to the scroll effects and we're gonna make a sticky toppy offset with 250 pixels so that when you scroll it is just in the center. But when does it have to stop scrolling? Well, it has to stop on a new section. And then of course they have, just like with Amazon, the more people that scroll down, the more they want to know about the product before actually buying it. So what we do is we're going to add another divider. To do that we need a normal row. So we're going to copy this row, paste it over there. And then we're gonna get the divider again to this row. And then we're going to remove all these ones. And we're going to add toggles. Because what do we want to toggle? We want to talk about the ingredients. Because people need to know what's inside of it. Then we just paste this text. And this will all be H3. Then we go to design. Just toggle it open so you can see what you're doing. We go to toggle. The toggle background color should be actually white, the closed one, title text, black, black. The font, of course, Gilroy bold. Sizing should be a little bit bigger. And when it's opened, I want it to be actually this one. When it's closed, I want it to be black. I don't like the border around it, so we're gonna remove the border. We're going to remove the border style. I only want a border on the bottom. And then I do want to change these text. Body fonts should be Gilroy book, Gilroy regular, sorry. Gonna create it, make it black, 16 pixels. All right, this looks excellent. Then the toggle icons, I want to change them because they're hideous. The closed icon color should be black and it should be an arrow like this. And the icon size should be a bit bigger, 30 pixels. And when it's opened, it should be this one. And then I want this one to go back. Yes, and also the size should be 30. Now this looks great. Toggle, save it. Close the toggle, and then we can just duplicate it like this. We don't need a divider. And we can make another one, which is, and we can just paste it in, and then we get a big column. Let's see how this works. That works great. Do nothing more. Also this one can be removed. And then the last toggle is the amino acid profile, which is really important. And this one is even a bigger table, so I'm hoping this works. And it doesn't fit at all. And then we of course have to change the table width to 600. It almost fits, only mango peach is just a little bit too small. Actually, I have to make the table width 55, maybe 500. Well, I can live with it. It's not perfect, but okay, we can live with it. And then we see that the sizing is off because these are way more to the left. So we go to the settings. We go to the settings of this row and we're going to change the left padding to 30 is excellent. And what I think is now our problem is also fixed. Almost. Well. Alright, so now you know how you can actually create your entire product page and create even more stuff that you want to have inside of this. Now then below this entire row, we can see another space, just regular. And there they have just a normal row with a text module in it. So we're just going to copy this one, copy module, save it over there, paste it. And now I realize that my screen is not the right size for you guys, because I always have it on this. Yes, this is way better. I'm sorry, guys. I just realized my screen was too small for YouTube. Sorry. And then here we're gonna have the FAQ, like this. And then they're using just another toggle set. So we're gonna copy this toggle, copy module, paste it in over there. And here you can create all your frequently asked questions for your visitors. And I think we have a pretty beautiful product page created for this website. Oh, then this one, of course, let's make the breadcrumbs. Home should be home, any link should be on this one, and a separator, and the separator should be this one. I like this more. Then we go to design, we're gonna change it up. It has to be white, it has to be the Gilroy regular, and the size is actually pretty much okay. So for the next step, we're going to exit the visual builder. We go to the theme builder and we're going to add a global footer like this. What are we going to build in the global footer? Well, that's pretty easy. Of course, the first thing we need is a big row with 5 spaces. The first one will be a text module over there, and it's going to be customer service. Just change it to uppercase. The font should be, of course, Gilroy bold. And it's going to be white. It's going to be a little bit bigger because the background of this entire section, we go to the background color and we're going to use this background color. It's a bit different than the other ones. Then they also have a beautiful mask over it. Let's use again this one, and the mask will be almost transparent. Just a little bit like this. Beautiful floating squares. Or this time maybe we can use a blurb. Well, whatever you want, you can make use of them over there. Yes, this one looks beautiful. We're gonna use it like this, and then we're gonna even make it 0.2. Yes, this is excellent. Then we're gonna add a new module. Just copy this one, add a new one, and text is how can we help you? And of course, the heading text is Gilroy bold. It doesn't change the text font. You see what I'm just gonna create it, and then we're gonna troubleshoot it later. And then what do we have over here? We're gonna create some beautiful blurbs like this one, and the title is email. It's also gotten Gilroy bold. The text will be also Gilroy regular. It doesn't change right now, but it's gonna be okay. Hold on. And then I don't want an image. I want an icon with a mail. Like this. Icon color should be white. It should be on top, but it's gonna be really smaller than this. And I also want it to have rounded corners with this one white, a little bit more spacing around the icon. So we're gonna need more padding like this. I think 15 pixels would do the trick. Yes, this is great. Okay, and we go back to content, text, and we're gonna add mail us your question or fan mail. And then we're going to align it all in the center, and this one also align to the center. And what do I want to do? I want, when you hover over this module, I want it actually to give a nice background color. So we go to content, we go to background, we go to hover, and when you hover over it, it's gonna be this color, but I want it to be bigger. So let's change this one. I want it to be darker, and then we're gonna make it This is excellent. It's only on hover, and then we go to design, go to spacing. We're gonna give this entire blurb more space on the inside, more padding. Yes. And then I also want it to be rounded. This is great. So when you now hover over it, it's gonna be great. Let's copy this thing to the other ones, because I want 4 more. Yes, we're gonna change them real quick. Then I want to align this one in the center, this entire column. So we go to the column sections, advanced, custom CSS, margin will be margin top will be auto, margin bottom will be auto. And for this to work, we need to go to design, sizing, equalize column heights, and then we are at the automatic margin. Really great. The last section will be a regular section. We can actually just copy and paste this entire thing like this. And then we're gonna remove this one and we're gonna add a image, which is a logo, and the text will be below it, and it will say create a filter world. It's the payoff of the company. We're gonna align it in the center, and we're gonna make it a little bit bigger. The image alignment will be in the center. This is great. Then we're not gonna use these blurbs, but we're just gonna use text modules for this. And the text module is actually an H3, which has our products, and below the H3 will be all kind of links. Like, then we go to design, we go to text, you go to this hyperlink icon. It's also the same when you press this, you get here, but you want this one. Make it Gilroy regular. We're gonna make them white. If you want to remove the space between them, just go over here and delete all this space between your links. Because I just copy and paste it, so it's not really the way you should do that. And then we go this one also white. Beautiful. The heading 3 should be Gilroy bold. Alright, then we're going to copy this column. Oh, my bad. Just press on this one, remove the other ones, repaste this one to, again, 5 of them. Change these real fast. Then we're going to change the background of this entire section. Oh, we didn't create another section, we created another row, but I want to change the background. So we go back to wireframe, I'm going to copy this entire section, delete this row, delete this row. And then we have actually exactly the same with another section. Go to background, going to change it to this orange. And that's it. Let's save this one. Now when we look at the front end, this is our beautiful website with all the products over there. But now let's make a link of this one to the right product. Enable Visual Builder. Then we go into this section of this row. We're going to give the first column an entire link. And this is the actual link. Press save. Save again. Save this page. When I now go to my front end of my website and I press on this button, now I go to this page. As you can see, some things are not yet all right. We have a double header, which is really strange, and we really need to fix this. Whoa! Also, the footer is a bit strange because these are all buttons. First, we're gonna change the double header. I think it has to be do with the theme builder. Then we go to make a new template for all products over there. Create template, save changes. Let's see when I refresh this page now. Enable Visual Builder. So I think when looking in the wireframe, we can see that there's a section over there and there's a section over there, which is actually the header. And I actually don't know why they are here, but we're going to remove them just like this. And this is the header template, and that's okay. So we're going to save it. And now on the front end, it looks like this. Also for the products, we need to pull them up with just a few pixels, remember? We go to the settings of this menu, we go to design, we go to spacing. We're going to change the bottom margin to -75. Here we go. And then we're going to change the content of the post again. I don't want to edit by accident my header. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to into here. I'm going to shut down the theme builder template editing like this. You go to section settings. And we go to design. And we go to contour padding. We're going to add 50 pixels just to give it some more space. I forgot something because in the menu, I have to state the design spacing. I have to state that the button padding is only on desktop and not when I'm sticky. So when in sticky mode, it should be 0, like this, and on desktop, it should be like this. And now this is how it looks on the front end. And now the global footer looks a little bit strange. And the fun thing is I always say when pasting, use this text. And if you don't do that, well, you copy all this rubbish. As you can see, I have copied with every link the class button footer link. So we have to remove all these classes in all these links to make it normal again. And now the website looks great again within WordPress. I think we've created a pretty awesome website with all these kind of beautiful effects and things. It works actually really great. And now we can go to our product. And in our product, you can also scroll. It looks awesome. And I'm just gonna add 2 of them to my cart. It's been added to our cart. Let's view our cart. The cart page really looks hideous. So we're going to enable the visual builder. And we're going to tune a couple of things. First, we're going to change the title, design, title text, and the font is Gilroy Bold. Then we're going to change these styles. The title text, the font should be Gilroy Bold, but then the title text color should be white. Error text, don't forget to change that also. Gilroy Bold. The body text should be Gilroy Regular, and it should be black. Then we go back to content, we go back to background. The background color is now, it doesn't look like there's a background color, but there definitely is. And then we go to design, we go to button, enable custom styles, yes. And what do we want actually? We want to create a great background button. Let's style this button. We're gonna make it like this. And the back button will be this one. And the button icon will be left. And then people know that they're moving backwards. We're gonna give it a padding. Because of the icon, you have to actually change the left padding to make it bigger, or else it doesn't feel like it is the same. Let's style this one. First, we're gonna style all the table headers. The font will be the Gilroy Bold. You can actually make this one black. Then we're gonna change this one to our global color over there. Also Gilroy Bold. Pricing exactly the same. Make it orange. Change the button. Custom styles again. Text color on this one, want it to be orange. Background white, no border. Oh, actually I want a border. Border color should be also this color. Border radius 25 pixels. Gilroy Bold. No icon. And I actually want it to be a little bit smaller. Like this. And then we go create some padding on this way. But I want this one to be a little bit smaller. Let's change the coupon code. Placeholder color should be orange. Background white. And then I want to have a border around it. Gilroy Regular. Just a small border that's also orange. Also this one orange. Alright, let's change this button for the last thing to change on this one. White, orange, no border, 25, Gotham Bold. This is all excellent. Padding. Then we scroll down. Then we have also interested in the products is excellent, but I want it to be on the other side. Go to the settings of this row and just switch the columns like this. Then let's change the font on this one. Design, title text, Gilroy Bold. And let's make it like this one. Then also change the price text, also orange. and also in Gilroy Bold. Then we'll go change this one, cart totals, change the text to Gilroy Bold, of course. Well, this looks all pretty good. Let's make this one depth, and let's go to the button, of course, and make it a big green button, because this time, let's make the text white, and let's make the background the green color. No borders, and the font should be, of course, Gilroy Bold. And then I want to show the icon, and I want to show the icon always, because it's the next step in the process. Border radius 25 pixels. Really great, this looks great. Let's change the text to Gilroy regular. So this is great, and this one uses our linked products or cross and upsells, so this is excellent. Of course, on the background, I want to see some beautiful background image. Then we go to the background, we're gonna add the mask again, just like this one we're always using. And then we're gonna invert it. This looks great. Now, what's also very important is that you want to have some more USPs over there. Now, we've created them earlier on with the products. So we're just gonna copy this entire row, copy row, and in here, we're just going to paste the row. Paste row like this. We need to create a special section for that. So we're going to go to specialty. We're going to use this layout. And then we're just going to drag and drop everything inside of that one. So the card, just drag it and place it over there. Like this. So we're going to drag and drop this row. Place it over here. Now, you can, however, create a new row like this. And we're just going to drag them all to there. Excellent. And then below that we create a normal row, and in this row we're gonna place, you also may be interested in, like this. We're gonna delete this row and delete this row. The problem then what we have is the background doesn't go over here. However, there's a trick for that. What you need to do, so you go to this section, and you go to background, and you just press this one, copy, background. Then you go to this section, and you go to background, paste background. Now what does it do? It creates the exact same background within these sections. However, it doesn't look really nice now. And we're just going to flip it again, like this, and then it's okay. It's not my best background, but hey, we're just working with it. I like it. Then we're going to close the gap between these two sections. So you go to there, design, spacing, and give it a top padding of 0. And then we see that the sizing of this thing is smaller than the card section. You can do two things, or you can try to change this one, which is really hard. It's possible, but it's a bit hard. Or we can just go to this row, just go to design, go to sizing, and we're just going to change it to 1100 so that it almost looks the same. Well, you can fine tune it, whatever seems fit. Save it. One problem, however, is in this page, what you see is that we have a white background. So the menu up here is not visible. How are we going to change that? You go to your Divi theme builder and you're going to add a new template. But it's going to be a specific page. It's going to be the card page. And I think we're also going to use it on the checkout. So just add it in, and also maybe on my account. Press create template. And now we have a special one for just these pages. Click on this one and click disable global. So all the changes we make in this header will not be applied to the entire website. Press on edit the button, section settings, background, on sticky. Now it's orange. We also want it to be on global, like this. And press save. Don't forget to exit this one and press save changes, or else it won't work. Exit the visual builder on the card. And now we have a beautiful card page, which is the way I like to see it. If we add more products in the same category, they will be added here as the same like this. Alright, proceed to checkout. It also is hideous, so let's change this page. Press enable visual builder. First of all, we're gonna change the title. Design, title text, Gilroy Bold. You know, there is even an easier way to do this. You don't have to change every time the title fonts and the body fonts. Go to your dashboard, go to Divi, go to Theme Customizer. In the Theme Customizer, you go to General Settings, then you go to Typography, and then you go to the header font. This one will be Gilroy Bold, and the body font will be Gilroy Regular. Like this. Press Publish. When I now refresh this page, you will see that all the fonts has been automatically changed to the normal things. It will save you a lot of time. Alright, then we're gonna style this one. Returning customer, click here to log in. The font has already been changed, but maybe you want this font to be Gilroy Bold. That's okay, you can just change that. Then we go to the content, background, gonna make this orange. This is way more in our line. Alright, then we go to the buttons. I want to change all the buttons. Login. It's not a real important call to action, so we're going to make this. The text should be white, the background color should be this, our orange. We have no border, and we're gonna make the radius of 25 pixels, like this. The button font should be Gilroy Bold. Show it always. Then we're gonna change the padding, 75 over there and 65 over here. And let's change something with the hover. So when you hover over this one, I want the background color to be white, and the button text color on hover should actually be our orange. And also I want a border. When I hover over it, I want a border, and I want the border on hover to be orange. Then the funny part is you have to change the border width on a normal color also to be orange, or else it won't work. Like this. See? Work. Alright, then remember me. That's great, just make it Gilroy Bold. And then we're gonna change. Then I see that this thing is, if you want to change this lost your password link, you go to your body text, you go to the link, and here you're gonna make it orange. And also change this to Gilroy. Oh, that's okay. So now also the links has been changed. This looks excellent. Then we go to this field. We're also gonna change this one. The form notice background color should be orange, and the text color should be white, and then the font should be bold. Okay. Then if you want to remove some of these fields, there are very good plugins for that to do so. So we're not going to do this in this tutorial, but you can, however, change all these fields. Then we have to style this one to make the remove. I want it to be orange, and I like the rest, is great. Then we have more notices to check out. Payment section. The notice background should be orange, and the button is a very important one. So this button actually should be white, and the background color should be our greenish. And then when you hover over it, I want it to change. So then I want to make this one green, and the background on hover should be white, like this. And then the border should be 2 pixels. When the border color on normal should be green, and on hover it should be green also. And the radius should be 25. And then the button font should be Gilroy Bold. The button icon should be always visible. And then let's change the padding again, 60 and 75. This is great. And then some top padding of 25 pixels. Change the privacy policy link to orange. And of course, this text, you can all change it in WooCommerce in the next video. All right, this looks really great. We go to the settings of the section, we go to the background, and we're gonna add our beautiful mask. Or maybe you have another mask, or maybe you just want to do something else. That's okay. And then we're gonna invert it so that we're gonna change it a little bit so that we have all these details. but it's really hard to see. But it's a nice cool effect over there. Save your checkout page. And then one of the most things that a lot of people forget, when you place your order right now, you will go to this page which just said thank you for your order. I think that's not a very nice customer experience. What we need, my friend, is a thank you page. We want to redirect visitors after they purchase something so that they get a real nice user experience with a customized thank you page with beautiful, maybe an image or a video, or maybe a cross-sell and another upsell, or a new offer or anything else. To do that, we need a little bit of code. It's just a really short snippet. You need to add it to your functions.php, but if I go to Appearance, Theme File Editor, then we go straight to Divi. And when I want to change my functions.php in Divi, well, that's not very smart, because with every update the Divi theme does, this file will be replaced again with the new file. So our code will be gone. However, I made a really quick video about it, how to do that. Follow this video, then come back here. Alright, once you have followed my video, now you can go to Appearance, Theme File Editor. And here we can see that I've now created a child theme which is called Divi Orange Fit. Press on Select, and you go to functions.php, and we're actually going to paste here a snippet called Redirect WooCommerce Checkout Page to a custom thank you page. We're going to redirect them to thank you order, like this. We're going to need this URL, so copy it, don't forget the slash, and press Update File. And then we go, of course, to Appearance and Themes, because we need to activate our child theme. Then we go to Pages, and we're going to add a new page, which is called Thank you for your order. And don't forget to change the permalink to thank you order. Press Publish, and then we're going to use the Divi Builder. This page will actually contain all kind of elements we've already created. So we're going to clone our existing page. And I really don't know why this is so small, but all right, let's go to your existing page, search for your home page, click on it, use this layout. I want to change this one to another call to action, which actually says join the Orange Fit family. And the button will be sign up. And we're going to change this button, because what I want to do is make clear that the icon is actually for the newsletter, like this. And then we're going to show the button always, sign up. All right, save changes. Then this page section is really beautiful. We're just going to give it some padding of 150 pixels. What we want to do is actually this row, the Z index is not okay. So we go to Advanced Position. We're going to place the Z index to make this 10. Then we're going to change this entire row. We're going to give it a Z index of 25, like this. So it's always on front of these letters. And I also have to do it with these plant-based things. You can see that. I think it's also on the main page. It doesn't work great. So here we go. Advanced Position, Z index 25. And as you now see that they're always on front, which is exactly how I want it. Also with this one, Advanced Position, Z index 25. Yes, we should have done this earlier on, but you can still do so. Now let's make this even better. Thank you for your order. Ooh, this is a bit too big. So we're going to change the size to make it 140. What I actually want to do is copy this row, change it, bring it over to here. And we're just going to say, for the user experience 1, your order is being checked. Our people are checking your order right now. And we're going to use icons for all these blurbs. And of course, the icon color should be the green one. Okay. Then we're going to change it, this one, to 2, packing your order. Now when somebody has placed their order, this is the page they will see. This is way more nicer than the normal thank you page from WooCommerce. Now, before you can actually start selling, you need to add your taxes, you need to set up your shipment costs, you need to optimize your website speed, you have to create more products, you have to create the invoices which will be sent up through the emails. We have to do a lot more stuff. So that's why I created a playlist with all these videos covering all these different topics. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you will be updated when a new video comes out, and follow the playlist so you can start selling your products, change the world by doing so, and also make a profit. I wish you an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.